Let's hit the recording button. 1, 2, 3. Hello and welcome everybody to another stream of Gems of War, where we are going to enjoy me turning down the music. We are going to enjoy some Gems of War while I take out some towers and help out the guild. Because that is what I think I'll try and do Monday streams for. And then on top of that, I had some internet issues earlier. Namely, last night, the internet went out, and then I think there's still some issues. So if I drop off suddenly, that's probably why. Trying to think of what it was. Oh yeah. But restarting the router helped with stabilizing the upload speed. The download speed is still only 900. I wish it was 900 megabytes. No, it was only 90 megabytes instead of the usual 300 to 400 that we get. So that's still having an issue, but the upload speed is a crisp 11.3 as usual instead of the, I mean, it's a little lower instead of 11.4, but you know, less than a 10% difference. So it's a little bit, you know, that's at least stable, but the download speed is an issue. But luckily, I'm not downloading anything, so it doesn't really matter any. That's a magic thing. Oh, sweet orb of minions. So we will have some fun, take some towers out, and figure out what in the world I'm gonna do for a team. Blighted lands. Let's do base rarity. So I didn't plan things out like I usually do. I have this really nifty spreadsheet that I would show off if I could get it to capture without doing a window capture. Or a screen capture, I should say. If it was a window capture, that'd be fine, but it doesn't even do that. It's just screen capture that'll work. So let's upgrade that. And yep, perfect. Oh, he does have infernal armor, so yeah. He will be great to slap up front. Let's make sure everyone's ascended as they can be. So you are just a daemon. Also, I love how it's not demons, they're daemons. But daemon also sounds a little bit cooler. So he'll be the main damage. Yeah, he'll do some damage. Whew. That's not too bad. He generates red. You turn something to red. Trying to just see, what do I have? You do damage, but shouldn't be too important for this one. Just destroy a row. You explode a gem and summon. Blue to skulls. That could be good, because more skulls mean more kills. Yellow to purple has some use, so she could be good as well. I'm gonna say better than this dude. You're just a boss killer. You do some damage based off of, oh, and you make crit. You actually might not be bad. So the Iron Maiden, keep that one in mind. You just do souls, you do some damage. Drain mana, which I don't think does anything in these cases. Yeah, you drain, like, all the mana, and damage, crate. Okay, if that's 12, that's not too bad, but you use yellow, so you can't just self-charge. Okay, so we got someone to transform to red, someone to transform or convert yellow to purple. And someone to do blue to skulls. Gonna say you're probably the weak link. Slap you there instead. Of course, they're both red purple. And let's take the skull generator out. And tome. No, okay, it's not. Can't explode. It'd be, yeah, the obsidian. I like this because it's any gems, which allows me to basically explode the board. So also this is a full purple team. Yeah, I'm gonna put that there. I think this should be a decent lineup. He'll make some red, he'll make red, he'll explode the board. And then suggested banner, that's a good idea. Let's go for Daemon. And I believe you're from this area, Blighted Lands. Oh, I haven't even got that yet. So that should be good. Yeah. That should be decent. That. Yes. Yeah. Weird that it wasn't connected to chat. Share to kill chat. Perfect. Let us see. What was the other people I was going to use? That way I can give a nice proper thing. Okay. Oh yeah, I totally skipped over the Infernal King. And red. Yeah, I'm gonna say actually the Infernal King instead of the other one, because he'll be able to do more. Because you just do like a little bit of damage. Granted, it's only brown to red, but I'm not too worried. Yeah. Lamb. Oops. It's a good thing I copied. Okay, let me pause on my YouTube. Okay, let me try and read the thing. Okay, the zoom. Trying to read on the phone is very difficult. Nope, can't zoom. Two. Ah, forgot the H. Okay. That way, I give my team, aka my guild, something to work with off the bat. And theoretically, that might make it easier. Okay, let's check the levels on everyone. Yeah, you're maxed. I don't care. Yeah, you need some levels apparently, because I don't have anything else for it. Apparently everyone has Infernal Armor, but that kind of makes sense. And yeah, you have all your traits. Nice. On to the battling. Okay. Also, I didn't realize we were in ads because I didn't have my stream manager up due to good old fashioned case of I was didn't think about it. So I did not get much from explosions this time around. Okie dokie. Yeah, he also makes red, so that's kind of nice. Explode the board, please. I love the smell of explosions in the morning. Okay, I do think I will actually turn up the sound a little bit. It's just not the same without. All the, noises. Oh. Actually, what I will do, I'll mixer, say 20%. That way it's easier for me to adjust. Okay. And bing, bada boom. Okay. Put that down some more. Much easier for me to adjust when it's at a higher. What I did is I turned it down in Windows, and then that way it's a little easier. Because, so if you're wondering why, like, I was having to do it the way I was doing before, it was very simple. Most games can run on like 10, like 10 volume, or even like less than that. But Twitch streams and YouTubers, I have to pretty much have it 20. Because otherwise, they're just like really quiet and it's really hard to hear. But even if they're talking like a normal volume, like this, and talking like that, and it's just like, why is it just the case that like it's so much quieter on the browser compared to just every other game? You know, like, why is it just? And I think there's a few other cases as well where it's just like so much quieter, so I had to have things so much louder for those like few occasions. I don't even know if I run into them really often anymore. But it was just something that was like, oh, this is annoying, so now that's just how I have to handle things. Because otherwise everything's too loud. Granted, I can easily just turn things up since I have a scroll thing on my headset. However, that also doesn't necessarily fix the issue, since I usually have multiple things going, so adjusting the volume, normal volume for one thing, does not end up fixing it overall, since then I'll have a volume issue for a different thing. Okay, that's too much. Man, that worked. Yeah, it's like I want some volume, but not too much volume. And then also on top of everything, because I will farm explore off of stream, but I have that on the side and just use the auto explore function, which is quite nice. It's much slower than doing it yourself and a little less reliable. And there are definitely plenty of times where I'm like, why did you pick that thing? There was this bonus turn right there. But overall, it is quite effective. Yeah. I'll get a bonus turn. Oh, I just killed. That also works. But it still is kind of semi-passive collection and doing of battles. Usually winning of battles. It also is a good way to farm souls. It is slow and steady, but it is fairly effective. However, as per almost everything, the best rewards, seemingly, comes from the delves. So that is pretty much really where you want to get stuff if you're trying to get rewards, making sure you do your delves of the day. Yeah. That worked better than I was actually thinking it was going to, so I am happy with that. What? No, okay. I was really confused because my Restream thing says offline. However, I am very much online in both places, so I was very confused for a second and very worried. I'm kind of wondering. Okay. Gotta make sure. Yeah, no, I mean, this could only be live, so. Yeah, did worry me for a second. My guess it just hasn't updated, and I don't want to mess with things to potentially break it. I just now realized. Oh yeah, rage. Probably why people don't like to mess around with different things. Probably because, like I just did, there's a lot of cases where it's like, well, it works now, I don't want to be the one who breaks it. Which is a very unfortunate thing, because, messing around with new things is how you learn things. It's the greatest way to just, figure out what you can do with different things. Yeah. That should be good. I figured I could get a bonus turn out of that. I do like how both the tower killers generate some red, so that's nice at least. Yeah, you didn't get powered up. I think I didn't get you when your event was around. Blow up the board. That was actually a very ineffective blowing up of the board. Yeah, we'll just do that. Yeah, let's do this. Perfect. Ah, sweet. I finally matched 100 burning gems. Somehow. I hope that was like a recent achievement because of the fact that I feel like I would have done it just by pure chance by doing so many Blighted Lands explorers. Because those aren't too bad if I remember right. Yeah, let's punch. Ooh, bonus turn. Let's get that. And that on. Okay, anything funny? Not really, so let's do that. Yoink. Look, aw, they got a bonus. Oh, perfect. Plenty of skulls for greens. And yeah, it's like that should be enough. I didn't realize I had 60 attack as well. That definitely makes it a lot easier. Okay, I think I'm going to turn the music down a little bit. Just because the victory noise is just a little loud. Sweet. One down already. Let's not do that, and that'll just give them a bonus turn. Ah. They managed to destroy themselves by getting some skulls, which is kind of great. I don't know where I have this tune stuck in my head. It's a different tune actually now. Yeah, no idea where I have that tune stuck in my head from. Um, Pretty good tune though. If I had to guess, it's probably like Tryhard Ninja or JT Music. That has a tendency to be, if a song is stuck in my head, it's probably one of those two. Though, I guess to be fair, as of late, it's been a lot more like video game music, a song from a movie. I literally couldn't think of the word movie. I don't watch them that often. And so it's just like ever so often you do. But definitely have a little bit more variety in my music instead of pretty much just like Minecraft parodies. And the Tryhard Ninja and JT music as I did as a child. As a child, I yearned for the music. Ooh, extra skulls. We love. Though I've also had a lot of like Baldur's Gate 3 songs stuck in my head. But not like super stuck in my head. Like they've been stuck in my head, but I can't remember them kind of thing. Like it's you can't help but think about it, but also none of the words come to they come to your mind. They're just like, hello. You're gonna remember the song, but not remember how it goes. And it's so annoying. Not like an issue annoying, but just like, come on, at least let me remember how to hum it. I want to be music. I want to be the music man. Aha. I was like, is there extra turn from Brown? There was. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. 1 point. Okay, screw the plans. Blow up the board. Hope. It's like, I swear, that one managed to survive, but no, it was just... they were there via a phantom. Yeah. But there's always one that like I end up humming and singing a bunch, but I never can remember how to do it unless it's just like, hello, you're singing this now, or you're humming this now. Because whenever I try and do what I think I remember it as, I just end up with Morrowind. I just end up as mainly that part. And so it's very much the case of like, so close, but not the right thing. But I end up doing that because I also hum the Morrowind theme / reprise a lot. I'm also like almost certainly missing huge parts of the Morrowind theme, but like with what's stuck in my head, I end up humming it a lot because I love Morrowind. Sometimes I don't really care for the older systems, but most of the time I am very much like, yeah, I really have a lot of fun with just the world of Morrowind, even if sometimes the gameplay of Morrowind is not what I'm looking for, and then other times it is very much what I'm looking for. Okay, green to skulls, and brown to red. Wow, there really is just like no bonus turns. There's a lot of both, but nothing's lined up. Well, the red was there for a little bit. Oh, green is there though. That's what we care about. And punch. Also, to continue from the start of the start of the stream, not scream. With the internet having some issues last night, it went out about mid-evening kind of time, which was a bit of an issue because it's like, yes, the time we have to relax is not allowed for us to relax. Granted, personally, I was pretty much completely unaffected. Like, yeah, I didn't have internet for 2-3 hours, so even that was fairly minor. But I also, like, I had already been relaxing for most of the day. I didn't do anything I was supposed to yesterday, so shame on me. There was a good bit that I was like, I should be doing this. But it wasn't even like, I should be doing this. It was more of like, I realized afterwards, like, I should have done all this. Oh, I guess that one just like, goodbye. I didn't realize it was already phantomly dead. But I was pretty much just relaxing. Well, I would say relaxing, except for I got really frustrated yesterday because I started off with having some fun with ESO, and honestly, I had a blast. I was doing great. I was having fun with numbers. I set up a new system for doing my calculations. It was great until I once again try to do some boss battles to try and do some dailies to get some gear. And you can't do them solo. Like, unless you have really good gear, you just can't do them solo, which makes sense when it's as an MMO, except for a lot of the world bosses no one's doing. But they still have gear, they still have quests attached to them. They still have completion attached to them. And so it's a case of like, you know, I understand why they're not meant to be soloable, but it also kind of sucks when you're like, well, no one's doing these. I want to be able to complete it, but I can't. And that just ruined my mood for ESO. And I realized it's like I keep doing this. You know, I have fun with the numbers, but then I can't put them to use because of the fact that like either everything's already fairly easy or near impossible, and getting better gear is not going to change it because I already have one of the better sets for durability. I just need to upgrade it some more. And so it's just a case of like, you know what? It's not worth my time. Like, I've had fun with it, but definitely my time has passed. So I've uninstalled it. Well, and I will definitely say, the best part about uninstalling ESO is like 140 gigabytes of space. It is wonderful. I think this has been the first time in quite a while. Yeah, I've had more than half of my external, or not external, but my SATA drive, SATA SSD drive, or maybe SATA cable, I don't know. I don't know, like, I like computers, but I am really bad when it comes to the internals. Like, I can get the general gist of things, but definitely I'm not, like, one of those people like, oh yeah, why don't you just use an XY instead of a Z with Z? You know, kind of thing. I'm like, yeah, like, I still am better than probably your average person, but definitely nowhere close to anyone who likes to mess around with like their physical computer. I'm like the, you know, the, if there was like multiple grades and, you know, quality wise, you know, everyone starts at 0, I'm at like the solid 1. Like, you know, I'm above most people, but definitely also below most other people who've done stuff in that idea. Anyways, this is the first time in quite a while that I've seen that much space on my other SSD. Because usually it's super full with almost everything. And so it's really nice to have so much more space. Because I've had like ESO installed for ages, because I would get on, grab the daily mail, that kind of thing. It was just part of my routine, and it wasn't bad. It was took maybe 5 minutes, 5-10 minutes kind of thing. But it was just a case of like, I don't need any of these. And like, with quests being just like, well, this is, you know, I can't do the world bosses as much as I want to. And so those, you know, that kind of defeated me. Also, I ran out of need for gold. I mean, technically, I need a ton more gold, but like overall, it's a case of the only thing I really need it on right now is housing, which is fun. Don't get me wrong, I do enjoy some housing. However, it is also the case where it's like I don't need anything more. So it's like, why buy any, you know, why get any of the houses? Or try and work towards it. Like, there's still a goal, but not really like something I really care to be actively pursuing. So it's like, you know what, I'll call it good. I don't need to be on ESO anymore. And instead, I'll just save myself a little bit of time. And then if I ever feel like coming back to it, then ta-da! I can come back to it, and nothing is lost. And this way I don't spend many hours and late nights making fun charts that inevitably become useless. Because that's really what hit me, was just like, I've spent like the last few nights, not including last night, that just like working on a bunch of numbers and different things in my spreadsheets, which I had tons of fun with. Like that is definitely the key. Is like I had a lot of fun with it, and that is perfectly fine. However, it very much is also the case of just like, oh, okay, like Twitch is, okay. Just my stream manager was having some disconnection issues, but everything else looks like it is actually stable. Worried me for a bit. But yeah, it's like I spend late nights having fun, but then just like I just can't apply it, and that's really what ruined me. It was just like all of this effort, all for naught. I mean, either way, it was kind of pointless, just because it's not much effort in a video game. It's usually not worth it, but it's fun to do. But it was just like the nail in the coffin kind of thing. We're just like, oh, come on. Yeah, it's no fun. Wow, there's no good combos. Okay, let's grab that. Oh, I can do this. Nice, nice, nice. And scrap the board. And yeah, it's okay. No, it's like, oh no, they managed to survive. Luckily, they were also burning. Ooh. I also was playing some Spirit Tracks yesterday. That drove me out of my mind. I will probably never play that again. Because so what happened was the Ocean Temple or the Ocean Sanctuary. I have no idea what I actually was needing to do that I wasn't. But it was like all the other ones, it's like, okay, you play the notes when they highlight. Nice and simple. But like I was doing that and they were just like, oh, you're all over the place. Or it's like, okay, what are you expecting me to do? Because obviously this isn't working. But they only just sass you and nothing else. Which one isn't helpful. And two, like it's just makes you feel terrible because it's like, come on, I'm trying here. Oh, and so like nothing I could do seemed to work. And it was also the case that like I wanted to try and like, okay, maybe I can set up a program and I adjust it and then to see if I'm getting adjust values to like maybe get this to work, but I couldn't get it to do the actual like mic effect to get it to blow. And so it's just the case of like, well, that's not work, that can't work. And so I can't just mechanically do it. Even though that itself is would have been a difficult task, just due to good old case of, if you don't know what you're doing wrong, it is impossible to fix it. Like if you know you're doing something wrong, okay, but if you don't know what that something is, it's impossible to be able to actually end up fixing it. We'll get a bonus turn, but we'll get some skulls. And that worked for me. And so that made me absolutely crash out. Because it was just so frustrating, and like I was very much done with it. But from there I just ended up relaxing a good bit. And pretty much didn't do anything I needed to yesterday, because I started with a bunch of numbers. I did have fun with Phantom Crash, so that was very much a nice highlight. Did a nice Phantom Crash stream. I also need to upload some VODs after today's stream, because I am very much behind on the uploading of them. But they take a while to upload, so it is the case of I usually can only get like one done a day. And you can only get like one done a day. Oh. Or one uploaded a day, sometimes two. And so I need to try and make sure that like after a stream I start uploading, because otherwise I'll be just behind even more. Because usually, like a lot of times it is the case where I'm just like, I don't feel like taking the time to do this. And then I fall behind. Let's take you out before you can bury. Oh, yeah, let's do that. Oh, actually, that should work. Oh, perfect, almost. Of course, you stole my green. You stole my green, you bastard. Yeah, actually, we can just do that. And then we just do that. But yeah, today, after the stream, uploading a VOD, and then we are doing my chores. I wish I could make everyone watching also help me with my chores, but that'd be a little difficult, and then also not to mention just a good old-fashioned case of that just really would be really inefficient, because a lot of things I need to do are just things that I need to do in a creative way, or like personal health, which I guess, now that I say it, I guess could be done by a team. Like, that is what some rich people do, is they, have butlers and spa people, I guess. I don't know. I literally can't think of anything else, besides like a butler. I don't think about other people doing things for, a person. I'm all about me. All about me. Just ignore all the different things where I'm like very hesitant about being about me. Legitimately, that is a major thing with me, is I really need to work on, thinking about myself when it comes to many different things. Oh, got a little burpy today. Because of the fact that so often I just do not even give myself the time of day, or the, like, yeah, you did something. I'm just like, yep, I didn't do anything. And it's like, no, you definitely did do some stuff. And so it's definitely the case I need to work on that, or, actually have some things be about me. Also I am getting slowly better at going like, hey you, did you know that I have a coffee, or a Ko-Fi, or however it's pronounced? I prefer it as Ko-Fi because I don't like coffee. But if you ever feel like donating to me, you can. That helps me be able to buy things that I normally wouldn't be able to buy, such as the Baldur's Gate 3 soundtrack, aka the Deluxe Edition, which is just basically the soundtrack and a few other fancy things, but I care about the soundtrack, because the soundtrack is awesome. And like, that is something that I usually can't buy, because of the fact that I really need to be saving money. As college, and then at some point, rent will be very expensive. I am luckily still in the good enough graces to live at home, rent free, which is really the key. The only toll is my mental health, which is an acceptable loss. Questionably so, but it's one of those cases of I don't have to have the mental burden of being able to make just enough for a rent, or scrambling to try and find a job that pays more, or scrambling to find another job, so I'm working 2 jobs. Anyone who does that, like, mad respect for you, because I barely can imagine having to do that, and it pains me. And I am just, I'm not even in that situation, and it pains me, so it's like, I can imagine anyone who's actively living in that situation, like, mad respect for you. I really would like to get a full-time job, but the search does not go well, and largely due to combination of college and uncertainties. And like I do at least have a very stable part-time job, so like I don't want to try and upset anything. My life is a mess, but like a neat and organized mess, and like with a few extra things attached to it in a good way. Like, I am way better off than a lot of people are. But I still definitely feel stressed a good bit. But at the same time, still, probably way better than a lot of people are. Which always makes me go like, am I allowed to be complaining? Just due to that kind of thing of like, everyone else is way worse, off way worse. But I think I am getting a little bit better and going, yes, I can say things like that. I can also be having issues even if they are small compared to what many people deal with. I can still lay it out, like, here's what's going on, and if people want to support me, they can support me. And if they don't, because they're like, your issue is not big enough, that is fine. That is up to the person who, does or does not donate. That is totally up to them. And, if anyone does donate, I am very happy with that. Because it really helps out a lot. Because it really is then like, oh, sweet, I have some spending cash to be able to get something that I really enjoy. Because otherwise it'll just be the case of like, okay, I'm not gonna really spend any money on the things that I would enjoy, because I already have things that I enjoy. Because I mean, that really is the key difference, is that most of the things I will want to get are in many cases effectively a luxury item. Whether it's like the Baldur's Gate 3 soundtrack. One, it's music, so it's a luxury item technically anyways. Actually, I have no idea if music is technically a luxury item, but I just kind of consider it as, like, it's a very useful one in many, many different ways. Just because music is pretty darn great. But, it feels more luxurious when it's the case of buying it, when it's free on YouTube kind of thing. Like, I can just continue listening to it on YouTube for free. That would be fine. I have to deal with ads, but that's, all right. But I would love to be able to slap it into my music playlist that I can listen to offline. And also without ads. That's really the biggest thing, is without ads. But at the same time, if I don't have money to spend, I can't do that. it's not necessarily worth buying, but if I get stuff donated to, or if I get donated, donated to? I don't know. If someone donates money to me, to support me with my adventures, or ventures, I guess, not adventures. So eventually, I guess they will be adventures, but if I can get enough people on YouTube to watch my stuff and sub, then I will be getting money through ads, which will be wonderful. I'll be earning a solid 10 cents a year. No, I have literally no idea how much I would be able to make at that point. But I want to say it probably actually would help a lot with my with my like spendable income. Not like legitimately like a lot, but it would be the case of like, oh, I feel like spending like $10 a month. Like if I were to the point of getting ad revenue, like I have a feeling that I probably could pretty much be able to spend $10 on like, ooh, I feel like getting this. Yeah, at that point, so which would be wonderful, because that is the other thing, is I don't really care to spend money most of the time, and so like in most cases I won't end up spending too much in a month. How am I gonna make use of this? Yeah, didn't think that would work out well, but oh well. Brain's pausing on drop money things. Yeah, just, like I don't spend much, so like just a little extra spendable income would be great. I mean, eventually it'll also then be a good old-fashioned case of expenses. Being like, yeah, I would like some extra money to be able to afford food or rent or whatever. However, as long as, we don't just end up falling apart completely, no guarantees that won't happen. There's at least enough systems in place to try and help, like, oh, you're, can't afford food, EBT kind of things. Oh, you can't afford rent, here's cheaper rent places, here's renters assistance. I think, at least I've heard of that. I have no idea if that's something I could try and do, but there's at least support programs that I would definitely be looking into. Honestly, it's one of those things I should be looking into right this second, of just generally, like, what kind of support programs are there in place I live, because that way I could get an idea. Wow, there's really no matches. I could get an idea of the different things that I should be trying to look for, like see what I could be potentially applying to, like right this second, of just like, ooh, this would actually be really helpful in this case. And yeah, like I should be able to make it. It just, depends on how bumpy the ride is. But so it's like, hopefully, without any additional income, I'll be able to pay for everything I need, whether it's not literally everything I need, but at least everything I need. And then the rest is, or like most of everything I need, and the rest of that is then paid by other systems. Or, you know, yeah, something like that. Basically, I'm hoping that donations get to stay as a, hey, you're helping me out. It's not life critical support, but it does allow me to get extra stuff. One, for personal enjoyment, and two, for streams. And that is pretty much what I hope to have be the case. Of just like, you enjoy my stuff, you want to see more stuff of my stuff, and donating allows you to do that. That is my hope. That it can just stay as that and never as a, hey, I really need like, you know, extra $35 a month to be able to make rent. I really hope I never have to worry about that side of things, because that would be rough. I can understand that being the case eventually, but I am hoping I can avoid that. Though I would not be surprised if I can't. Because really, it all hitches on the case of, can I get a nice full-time job? And, well, you know, theoretically, if I can get a nice accounting degree, or some form of business thing, I should be nice and golden. I do think I'll probably lean into the accounting degree side of things, as I am enjoying numbers. And accounting is a good bit of numbers, so I'm thinking I'll probably lean closer to that. But really I need to look into another college where I'm going to go for after I transfer, or, you know, transfer to that college, and, you know, to actually check what kind of, you know, full BS programs they have. You know, it's one of those cases where it's like, okay, I've made a plan. However, I didn't make the plan once this plan finishes. So that is something I need to do next. So that way, you know, I actually know what I'm getting myself into, instead of going like, oh yeah, this was not worth the idea. That is another thing I need to be doing soon. This is your oh, stretch. Ooh. I enjoy donations either way. Since, you know, it's be cool stuff. What I really also need to do, along with, you know, the fact I'm slowly getting better at it, I really want to make some videos that won't go up like on my channel, but that I just play during stream, that are just like short, to the point kind of videos, like, did you know I have a Ko-Fi? You know, and then blah 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 blah, donate now kind of thing. Also, I do have a poll up there, up on there, for some art stuff, just to give myself some direction from the community. I doubt anyone will respond, but I figured I would have it up there. No, actually, what I figured was I'd do the share timber or whatever Ko-Fi has called it, to try and, I think it was like $500 or something. I don't know. I just took it more of a, like, oh yeah, this wouldn't be a bad thing to do in general. You know, to actually share some of the stuff, you know, and so I need to try and do some of that. I'm getting slowly better at, you know, actually posting and putting my different things up there, instead of, and by up there I mean in like social media and, you know, in the wilderness. Of just like, hey, I do things. These are the things that I do. Granted, I haven't been doing much of stuff for a little while, but, you know, in theory, I do things. Though, once I finish up all the different chores and stuff that I need to be doing, I think I only have a few more things left on the major plans. And then I should be good, I want to say. I mean, there's always more stuff to do, but I think I've done all the mission critical stuff. However, I'm also about to start classes again in about 2 weeks, I want to say. And then I gotta be really busy. That's the no fun part. But it is what it is, and I rather pass my classes, or at least work hard on passing them. Because knowing me, it really doesn't matter. Which is the saddest part, honestly. It's just like I can work hard and barely pass, and then I can also barely give effort and barely pass. So it is always in a very similar vein to my ESO discussion. I can put all this effort and have a bunch of fun, you know, learning the material, laying things out, and then once it comes to the actual test, or in ESO's case, a boss, it just doesn't matter. Which is just always very unfortunate. It's like I want to have my fun and I want to make it good, but sometimes it just don't work. Okay, no bonus turns and no skulls, so let's do that. Yeah, there's bonus turn and skulls. Perfect. Who knew that was the perfect calculation? Okay. Trying to think of the other things I do. You know, I will definitely say this is kind of the worst part about shouting into the void is the fact you're shouting up into the void. Because, like, sometimes it is really nice to be able to just shout into the void. I mean, that's usually why I'm streaming. It's just to kind of shout into the void. But there are definitely times where I'm just like, what do I talk about now? Because I don't have anyone to bounce things off of. Oh, though, actually, I do have another thing to talk about. I think what I'm going to start doing is some games, I'm going to kind of play them like during streams. And by during streams, I mean like at the end or like beginning of a stream. Kind of like or like a middle of it. And probably not the middle just because that's a mess. That's a mess waiting to happen. But just like ending a stream, like, you know, we finish up the guild battles, and then I'm like, okay, we finished what we planned to do. I feel like doing a quick round of Phantom Crash, or like quick, you know, do a quick grotto boss in Dragon Quest, or, you know, something like that, where it's not like the focal point of the stream, but it's just like a nice little fun, let's do this kind of bonus content. And then, you know, do one of those and then call it good and then, you know, end the stream kind of thing. But, as it stands, I have no idea how that's going to work. Because it's not too great to have it, like, at the beginning. Or on one hand, it would be good at the beginning, just because, it would be fun just as a nice little warm-up before getting into the main game. But at the same time, there might be some issues with like trying to get people to stay or what I can't think exactly. Dang, no bonus. Yeah, I guess I'll just do that. Yeah, that'll be enough to defeat him. No, no, okay. Oh. What was I thinking again? But yeah, just like trying to think of when to like do that kind of bonus thing. Oh wow, that one's already dead. Like I don't want to accidentally have a case where it's like I'm playing this game and then people pop in and then I switch into the game I plan on playing and then they're like, oh, peace out kind of thing. Like I don't want to necessarily have that. And then also on the flip side, I don't want to have people who are coming for the actual game I'm playing and then see that I'm not playing that yet and then go, peace out. But so it's just the case of like, how do I want to try and do? I have no idea. There's that one off. Nice. But I think I will have fun with it. Either way, I don't think I'm going to do it in this case. Just because it will be getting a little close to when I need to have some lunch. And and I will definitely need to be having some lunch before some work. So usually I give myself enough time by doing a 2-hour stream from 9 to 11 or so. Trying to think of what I was thinking again. Oh, you got yourself barrier. That's no fun. I say goodbye, barrier. But I did start about an hour late, so that pushes it to noon. And then I got a short amount of time before I have to go into work. And when I have to go into work, it means I can still get food because I work from home. But I like to try and make sure I get everything I need to done before I get to work. Just because, like, if it gets busy, which it hasn't yet, this week might be a doom point. Next week might be a doom point. But it's coming soon. Because, namely, there's going to be a lot of new students. And a lot of them probably can't read. This is a college, by the way. It is very much though that a case of a lot of the info that or a lot of things that people have trouble with do have solutions. Have publicly posted solutions on the at least on a few parts of the websites that they are looking, of the college that they're going to. Like if you type in my issue here, the location, and whatever college you're going to, like it pops up. Like I've dealt with a lot of those where it's just directly, I asked Google the question that they asked me and I find it. So there's a lot of those kind of cases, though it is getting better. So I think our system has been able to dumb it down enough, I want to say, or rather not dumb it down because it's not like it's complex. I think it's more of a case of they don't know how to search for it. And as such, I think what we've been able to do is get it more right in front of their faces to the point where it's pretty hard to avoid. So it's like we've been able to at least do that, I think. But there always is a long list of people who will ask for help, get the help, and then complain like, "Oh, that didn't work," and then like you gave information for like, if this doesn't work, try this. If that doesn't work, try this, and they just do the first step. It's like, I gave you the possible solutions. You just have to do them. Ooh, nice. Oh, there's doubles, many skulls. Yeah, Spirit, they can't punch me all the way. So it is just kind of the case of like, yeah, I will. It'll get busy with a lot of those, and I am looking forward to it, but it does mean we'll be busy. Because really it comes down to a case of, like, if it's not busy with those kind of tickets, it's semi-busy. Not even busy, but like there are still some more difficult tickets to try and deal with, which I enjoy in some form because I like learning, but it is definitely the case of like, oh, I'm good with the basic tickets that I've dealt with a million times to the point where I just like, oh, it's this, send them this, the issue's over. Like, I'm really good with those ones, but there are definitely a lot of others where it's just like, other people might be really good with those, but I am not that other person. But, as I've been telling myself lately, the fact that they're still there after a day or two usually means that no one else is also wanting to do it. So, yeah, I might make some mistakes on it, but the worst case scenario is it gets delayed a little bit further because I have to then go, oh, sorry, it's this thing. Or, I send it to the wrong team, and that team goes, that's not our team, sends it to a different team. And that's pretty much about the only worry I've gotten at this point. Or at least try and make sure I only have that worry. Because it really is a case of like, well, I mean, tactically, I could have, cause more issues, but for the most part, it's just down to the kind of that. Where it's just like, yep, I could make mistakes, but, if no one else is handling the ticket, well, it's just sitting there, so that does them no good. Okay, we are getting close. Just 12 more of those. Almost to where we are. Also, yeah, this dude, almost certainly doesn't watch my stuff, but this person is amazing. Obviously, no one else will know who he is. But last few weeks, they have been doing a ton for the guild, and I have some mighty respect for them. Also, I probably finished my stuff. Or, nope. Getting close. Nope, not that. So not close. Oh, we're getting an axe. Oh, that's kind of cool. Have to see. Yeah. Oh, okay, that is actually some good damage, though. Keep everyone enraged. Ooh, oh, okay. I thought that was going to be enrage and barrier random ally when they take damage. You know how the orcs have this, when I take damage. I was thinking like, oh, that's going to be really insane. They take a little bit of damage, they get a nullification for the next thing of damage. Okay, back to the invasion. Because I didn't mean to hit back. But yeah, we've recently gotten a few people who are doing absolute wonders for the guild, and I gotta say, mad respect for them. since they are doing a lot and semi more consistently than I am. Though I am also getting better as I am slowly doing it more again. And also I've now got it set up so that on my schedule it is Monday. Monday is my Gems of War Guild Weekly event. That's when we do this. That's when I get my weekly done right at the beginning, gets it out of the way, nice and simple. And then gives me a week to feel like playing Gems of War again and do it again. Because that was kind of the part of why I didn't do it really last week, was I already did it early, I already did it just the day before because I had delayed it, and I was wiffle waffled around, and so this time it was just okay, I am just going to get it done on Monday, and that way it will be nice, scheduled, and whatever kind of thing. So pretty much Monday mornings will be this. Maybe at some point I'll do a Monday evening stream, but really I think at this point what I need to do is figure out what other things I want to stream. There definitely are a few games I want to record, but also I have enough other things going on that I don't want to try and put on a recording task and editing more so, while I've already got a bunch of other things to do. So it's that's gonna have to be put on pause, but it will be done at some point. I think what I wanted, my next edited content, I think I want to do playthrough KOTOR, and then potentially KOTOR 2. Not sure how I want to play through that, honestly. KOTOR 2 is great, but also a bit of a mess, honestly. So it's do I want to play with that or not? I don't know. But at the very least, KOTOR 1, I love it. Such an amazing game. Gameplay is kind of, mediocre in a sense. KOTOR 2 does better gameplay and some better story notes, but also they do much worse direction, I feel like. With that, I mainly mean dang. Actually, I can just do that. Where it's just okay, there's this thing and then that thing and then nope, not this thing, and okay, that thing. Oh, no, we got to do it this way. And there's a bunch of that with KOTOR 2. It all is really rich. It's just sometimes hard to decipher, I guess is a way to phrase it. Where with KOTOR 1, it is very simple, okay, here's the side quests and, here's the main quest kind of thing. Which is easier for me to do when it comes to streams. Granted, I probably won't stream KOTOR because I'll want to have it recorded, and at this point I have a bunch of things going up on my stream now, overlay, so I don't necessarily want that in KOTOR. It's totally fine. I mean, granted, I could still stream it. I just turn off a bunch of those things, which is fine. Yeah, I think that's probably what I would do, because I still want to stream it. It just wouldn't have any of my fun stuff. Probably the alerts would be turned off. Yeah, probably alerts would just be turned off, so that I'm practically just recording, but people can watch, people can enjoy it. Before I get done, get to the editing stage, or get to the edited content. But who knows? Either way, that will be good distance off, just due to good old-fashioned case of it will take me a while to get to the point of having the time to edit, and I do not want to record something years in advance. Because by that point, it's like, what was I talking about back then? Or, ooh, yes, please. Um, or just like cases of like, I have no idea what I was going for with this thing or that thing, or, you know. Whoops. Or just, you know, it'll sit there forever, and it's like, dang it, I have so much better audio equipment now. I doubt that'll happen. I would love to have some better audio. I think I have good audio equipment. I just have a really bad audio operator, aka me. Yeah, I think it's just, you know, it comes down to a case of I need to learn more on how to handle audio and what to look for or listen for, really. And that is a really hard thing for me to do. Mainly the listening part. And, like, maybe eventually I learn how to do it, but that'll be a little bit more difficult, I'd say. You know, maybe at some point I realize how to do things better. Maybe. One day. Eventually. The year 2500. I will be dead by then. But maybe I'll figure it out by then. Oh. Okay. Oh, also, fun story. Since, you know, trying to think of other things to talk about. There's been someone who's been commenting on my Dragon Quest VODs. They've been trying to get some help on how to defeat a boss in Dragon Quest 9. Honestly, mad respect for them reaching out, and I've been able to help at least a little bit, I think. I'm not really good on the teaching side of things. I'm mediocre on the do side of things. Terrible on the teaching side of things. Also, I will say I absolutely hate the moniker of like those who do, those who can't teach. Just because, like, one, it's, you know, demeaning towards teachers. And two, the biggest thing, I'm like the inverse. I could do it, but I can't teach. And so it very much goes to show, like, the case of, like, you can be unable to do something, or be able to do something, but be unable to teach it. Like, just being able to, you know, do it doesn't mean you understand it well enough to teach it to someone else. And so it's like, that being the case, you know, if someone is actually teaching it, that means they have just a different set of skills on that idea. So it's a very minor thing, but I have a tendency to not like those kind of things, just due to, like, there's no reason to, you know, talk about them like that. It's like, I mean, there's definitely some bad teachers. I've had some bad teachers in my day. Ugh. But, like, a lot of teachers really put in way more effort than they're getting paid for. That is for certain. And so it's like, I can only have, you know, respect for most teachers. But, like, there's plenty of bad teachers, there's plenty of good teachers, there's plenty of weird teachers. And it was very much the case of, like, the good teachers are far and few between, and they deserve all the respect. And sometimes the bad teachers, like, they're trying their hardest, but it's just like, sometimes you're just in a bad area where it's just like, no one will listen, and you just don't know how to try and make it so that they listen. But still, most teachers can do more than I can when it comes to teaching. So that gets some respect from me. At least a little bit as a default. Because I guess that is the other thing. Like, there are many professions that I will respect someone for just being in, just as like a default. Because for me, it's very much the case of like I will respect a person unless I find out or that they do, something in front of me. I guess yeah, I would still be finding out. Unless they do something bad. Because it's a case of like most people are just kind of doing things day to day, trying to get through the day, all that kind of good stuff. And like, there's going to be bad apples in most of them, but I'm not gonna shame the entire profession just because, like, that one person did something terrible, non-related to their profession. Nice. There are exceptions, but that usually is like if an issue is related to the profession, then it's a questionable thing. But like, trying to think of like a made-up profession so I don't accidentally insult someone. Um, um, okay, let's just assume this is a made-up profession because I don't know for certain. But like, imagine, no, that wouldn't work for me. I don't know. But basically, like, if the profession itself is an issue, like, it's a systemic issue kind of thing, then it's the question, question of like, yeah, maybe you shouldn't be working there, but at the same time, I understand the, gotta be able to provide for your family kind of thing, or even now just yourself. But like most professions are just, well, most professions are just, cheap labor for, a company or whatever. And by cheap, I mean, usually under what they're actually providing. Sometimes it is a decent amount of pay, but still, it does have a tendency to be less than what they are actually making. They're making the company. The case of like, the good old thing like boss makes a dollar, I make a dime kind of thing, or whatever that was. That kind of stuff. I'm really terrible with my analogies because I don't do anything, like I don't really seem to do anything in real life. So it's a case like I have no real life examples to pull from. I am like incredibly spoiled in the sense of like I get it, just kind of I gotta live here. It's not the greatest for my mental health, but at the same time, it's still free. That's way more than most people have. And so, like, I at least have a house over my head, and I don't even have to worry about rent. And so it's like, I worry about, being able to get a full-time job eventually. But it's not, like, mission critical. And so it's like, I am effectively very spoiled compared to a lot of people. And all I can hope is that at some point I get a nice, good paying job. I can handle all my affairs myself and then support my friends. Because I would be spoiling my friends. It is very much the case of like, if I have the money to be able to pay for myself, no issues kind of stuff. And I have left over, I'm gonna start spending some of that to support my friends. it won't be enough to support them fully. I would love to be able to do that. I mean, back when I was trying to make games and like I was like, I'm gonna make games, I'm gonna, be paid. Like, I had dreams and hopes and all that, nice things. I was always like, yeah, I want to be so successful that I can just hire my friends and they can just, have a have a nice full-time job and not have to worry about anything. Like, they could just, you know, benefit from my success. Like, that's really what I want. It's just to be able to have my friends have a, worryless life kind of thing. But, I've come to the realization, yeah, that's not going to happen. And I first need to make sure I can take care of myself. It's like I'm still in a better place than most people, but that will eventually change. Then I just gotta hope that I am able to get a nice proper job, support myself, and then hopefully be able to support others. Till then, I'm just hoping for the best. I mean, I still am doing some stuff, but it's just, I don't feel like I'm moving the needle much. In some sense, it's the case, like, I think my reality, or like my power over reality is slim to none. Perfect. Okay, got a few more to go. How much? 350. That's not too bad. I've been I'll definitely say like recently I've been getting actually better at not spending too much time on like shorts and stuff, but I have been enjoying like Legends of Veritas or Veritas. I don't actually remember. Don't remember their channel name exactly, but I have been loving. I haven't been sticking around or watching like the full D&D adventures that they've been doing, but I've been watching just like the shorts that get posted or like the animated ones because by golly, it is absolutely wonderful chaos. I think one of my favorites still is just the Gryla Gorilla one. It is just wonderful. Largely due to the fact that there was a large gorilla on the loose. No, not literal. But just, there are just so many cases that, like, I will watch that one. I can't even try and mimic it because I'll start laughing. But I just love how just all the jokes in that one. And the thing is, it's stretched over a good chunk of the actual adventure. But, like, there's a lot of jokes at each of those junctures. But when they're all compressed into a short that gives you like no time or just enough time to mentally breathe, but not to do a full breath kind of thing, and then just hits you with another joke, it can just be absolutely breaking. Though I do love another one where I don't remember most of their names. Uh, but what the toad eats some like really old deviled eggs and basically trips. And they go like, look at all these mice in the carpet. And then Derek has Bitsy, like as Bitsy just like, what mice in the carpet? Just like he changes the voice from Bitsy to just his normal voice. And he does it so well. That is just like a fever dream kind of thing. Like you could just imagine this frog character just like, hearing the voice of their friend and then just completely a different voice. Also, the animations are wonderful. But sometimes the animations aren't even really needed. Like, they're gold. They're absolute gold. But, like, the faces that they do themselves, whether it's just laughing or actual, like, making faces while doing something, are also absolute gold. And then there's just Mace, who's just, whenever he's laughing, it is just the same as the animation. Yeah, it's not his character as it is in the animation, but it's basically the same kind of, like, face shape as he's just laughing his head off. We always love a good person who can just laugh uncontrollably, just enjoying the moment. What was there was another one I saw recently. Absolutely loved it. But he like chuckles at the joke, but doesn't really like get it. And so like with the animation, it basically is just like gear spinning, and then they get a little further and then he gets the joke and then it just dies laughing. It just and then just like I love those kind of characters. They are the best. Where it's just not even characters, but just people who just unabashedly enjoy a thing and are just they are having the best time of their lives. Oh, ta-da. Weird. My stream manager keeps having to reconnect to chat. I'm guessing because there's still some download issues, but at the very least, the upload speed has been stable. And that's the important one. That is what allows me to stream to you. The downloads part is, the me, it's you streaming to me. And by you, I mean all the different streamers that I watch and will probably end up watching after I finish up today's stream. Because that requires me to be able to download their stream. And a little bit difficult if the internet is not working. However, even as long as the internet is not completely out, it's almost always fine to be able to watch something. Even if I have to lower the resolution, that's a-okay. Because I've never really been someone who cares about resolution until Baldur's Gate 3. Because that was the first game where I actually appreciated the visuals. Because for the most part, I barely care about how something looks. Like, I appreciate almost anything, like, how it'll look. But it's never, like, a key part of it for me. It's always been just kind of like oh yeah, that looks nice. Or like, oh yeah, I like how this looks, even if it isn't like, normally nice to look at kind of thing. Like the OG Oblivion, I always liked how it looks. But also like how Morrowind looks, but that's another thing. So it's a case of like, there's a bunch of different like minor things It's like, hey, those are nice, you know, but minor whatevers. Um, but it wasn't until like Baldur's Gate 3 that I was like, this, okay, now I understand why people like high quality graphics. Because things just look really good with Baldur's Gate 3, like right off the bat. And on top of that, everything was like, oh, there's purpose to the visual like quality. Like not super important, but like it added to things because like with many parts of Baldur's Gate 3, it was a nice trying to think of what like three things working in harmony. I really can't think of the word. But it was pretty much a harmony between like the storytelling, the music, the visuals. Like it wasn't just like the storytelling's really good, or the storytelling and the music's really good, and the music's really good. Like the visuals also played an amazing part of it as well. It really helped, you know, just everything around it. It wasn't just the case of yawning, apparently. It wasn't just like most games where it's like, I really love the story, and then that's like I don't pay anything else too much attention. It's like everything that made me go like, wow. Like had all three, had amazing visuals, had amazing story, you know, bit. Trying to think what the word is for, you know, story bit, but not bit. Oh, some skulls. You took the skulls I was gonna hit you with. And then so that's why I started like appreciating the visual side of things, because I saw amazing examples of like, okay, so this is how you do it nicely. How you can actually, you know, get how you can actually get, you know, the visuals to mean something rather than just kind of like be a thing that is like, oh yeah, the game's nice to look at, but like really add to the actual gameplay and, you know, story beats. Story beats. That's what it is. Okay, sweet. We have finished the guild run for at least the start of the week. I'll probably get the rest of the stuff done. Oh yeah, I got the class weapon. Nice. One finished the statue. And looks like the old fat cant wants out. Gonna set it to ending because we are nice and done. We have finished up what the plan was for today in just about 2 hours, so not too bad. I had quite the good time. I know I've talked a lot about donating, so I won't harp on it again. I think I went on many minutes of ranting about donations. Not even ranting, but just, I don't know, whatever the word is for just like, I'm talking about it without direction. Word vomit almost. But definitely make sure you are following on Twitch, subscribed on YouTube at Guardian Namek, and also subscribe to the VOD channel for VODs, hopefully shortly afterwards, after the stream. And yeah, and then check out my other stuff, you know, join the Discord. It should be linked below. If it's not, let me know. Check out my website. I have a bunch of cool stuff. Actually, that's a big thing. Check out the projects page on my website, because I'm started to get more and more of my projects up on there. Not the finished ones, but the things that I'm wanting to do. So if there's anything you see on there that you're like, oh, I would love to see more of that, or some of that, or whatever, you know, your reaction in a positive, like, hey, do that please. let me know. And I can definitely, put that on a focal point because as soon as someone else wants me to do something, that gives me a little bit more inspiration than just like, I should do some of these, but I don't know what I'm feeling like. So yeah, till next time, have a wonderful time. Bye bye.